Today in Daily Reading Ready, we have a passage titled Easter Chicks. Did you know some people dye chicks with beautiful, brilliant colors to give as festive Easter gifts? Dyeing baby chicks at Easter has been a long tradition. There are many people who don't believe it is safe for the chicks, even though the dye used is non-toxic and scientists say the bird's health is not affected. Some people believe this process stresses the birds and turns them into holiday playthings that are quickly discarded. People bring the birds home at Easter for their children, and then they quickly tire of them. Soon the chickens are neglected or are abandoned. Most animal shelters will not accept chickens, especially roosters. This leads to the animals being euthanized or killed. The good news is that the dye will eventually fade on its own as the chicks grow feathers that replace the colored fluff. And then we have a photograph with a caption that says, "Chicks can be dyed with food dye or non-toxic hair dye." All right, if you take a look at question 1, it says the author includes the sentence below, "most likely to." The sentence says, "This leads to the animals being euthanized or killed." Okay, so why do we think our author took the time to put that in the passage? A, to illustrate why shelters never take roosters. B, to show how serious the choice to buy an Easter chick can become. C, demonstrate why children shouldn't buy hair dye at Easter. That sounds crazy. I'm just going to cross that one out right now. D, to show that dyeing chicks has had a positive effect on others. Well, I know it's also not D, because the whole thing was kind of had a negative vibe to it and almost was written to persuade you not to purchase the colored chicks. So A says illustrate why shelters never take roosters. When you see the word illustrate in a choice, I want you just to write the word show. So do we think the author included that sentence to show why shelters never take roosters? We don't learn why they don't do that from the passage. I'm going to eliminate A. B says to show how serious the choice to buy an Easter chick can become. Okay, so our whole passage is about the effects of people purchasing these colored chicks that are super cute, right? So in red, I'm going to underline. Here it says to show how serious the choice to buy an Easter chick can become. Okay, so it kind of talks about the process, and then it says people bring the birds home at Easter for their children, and then they quickly tire of them. Soon the chickens are neglected. Most animal shelters will not accept them. Then this leads to the animals being euthanized. Okay, so all of that is bad news, right? So I'm going to choose B. It's the correct answer. Take a look at number 2. Which of the following correctly completes the diagram below? Okay, so we have a common theme up here, dyed Easter chicks in the rectangle, and then 3 details about the dyed Easter chicks. They're a long tradition. Scientists say dyeing is safe. What else? We are looking in that empty box. We are looking for the other detail based on the passage that's true about dyed Easter chicks. A says they're often abandoned or neglected. I remember that word neglected. It says soon the chickens are neglected or are abandoned. Okay, so I'm going to put a question mark next to A. B, all animal shelters accept chickens. No. Okay, right here it says most animal shelters will not accept chickens. C, the bird's feathers are affected. Okay, well, it talks about the feathers a little bit, but then remember when it says the good news is that the dye will eventually fade on its own as the chicks grow feathers that replace the colored fluff. So the feathers are not affected. And do we think dyed Easter chicks are also known as roosters? Not all of them. So the best answer there is A. And my evidence is when it says, soon the chickens are neglected or are abandoned. I'm going to put that with my orange. Look at your exit ticket. The prefix non means not. List 3 words that begin with the prefix non and define them. So example, non-toxic, not toxic. Okay, so make sure that you're putting your word and you're defining them. All of your definitions should have the word not. Good luck.